Welcome to another edition of Get Well Acadiana with Dr. Kevin, the show that changes the future of your health. So welcome to the show Saturday morning here. I'm the Senior Vice President of the Bright Wellness Institutes. We're Louisiana's most advanced functional medicine institutes. I'm here with my co-host Brandon Como. Brandon, how are you today?
Oh, doing well today.
I'm excited about getting started on something new today. I do this every year about this time, and we do a summer weight loss challenge about this time. So I'm excited to get started on it today. Nice. We call it our Summer Beachbody Challenge, and the way that this works is I always put a little bit of time aside, and we're going to accept the first 20 participants to join into our Summer Weight Loss Challenge. And the person who loses the most weight in 3 months wins $1,000 in natural health care from our office.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so we're going to do one here and one in our New Iberia clinic. So we're actually giving away $2,000 in natural health care to the top 2 people that lose the most weight over the next 3 months. But here's the problem with that. I'm a little short on time. I got a little busy with our diabetes program over the last couple of months, so we need to get started now. Like we're definitely pushing time. It got away from me a little bit this year, so don't come to me on June the 20th and say you're going on vacation July the 7th and you want to get in shape. People do that to me every year, and I just look at them and go, I don't do liposuction. That's not, that's the other Dr. Kevin on Moon, Dr. Duplechen. He does the liposuction. I'm the other Dr. Kevin. And, but the program takes a little time. I'm not a magician, but if you want to achieve real, effective weight loss, I'm talking real world, actual weight loss that's permanent, this is the program for it. So that's what today is going to be about. Like, how do I do that? And the way my program is so different. And I'm a nationally certified weight loss coach. And more importantly than that, I've lost 70 pounds myself. I went from a size 40 waist to a size 30 waist. And I actually ended up at the end of all that winning my Masters Physique Championship. So, I sort of know where you're at and what you're going through, and I can take you to whatever level that you want to go. So if you're listening and you have 100 pounds to lose, I got you. That's okay. Let's get started on it. I will be here to always support you and never judge you. So don't ever feel like you're going to be embarrassed no matter where you're at. Don't ever feel like that you can't come to me. And even if you just have that stubborn 20 pounds, that last 20 pounds that you can't get rid of before you have to get in your bikini, then I can help you with that too. So it doesn't matter what level we start at, it's where we end up. We don't worry about the before picture, we focus on the after picture. And so as your personal weight loss coach, it's my job to sit down and figure out goals and options and figure out what the barriers are to you achieving the weight loss that you've probably struggled with, most of your whole life. I've done the same, so I'm with you. Now, before we get started on all else today, though, I really need to say one thing. For the parents and grandparents out there listening, if you have youngsters or you have kids that are having weight problems, please pay attention to this. If you have grandkids that are heavy or you have kids that are heavy, we have a tendency, Brandon, to kind of see our kids as perfect. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're going to see that someday when you have kids. It's like, you don't ever want to think, hey, they have something wrong with them that we need to address. Mm-hmm. But guys, listen, I want you to take a real concern, a real look at this. If your kids are heavier than they should be, that's going to give them a poor self-esteem. They're going to be less outgoing. They might be bullied more often. And, even in things like business later on, they're going to be more successful if we really change these things now. I have a teen and child weight loss program that is really fantastic. And I work with kids and teens that are struggling with this often. So I can show them how to build the lifetime habits that will carry with them, that can stay with them long term, that we can break this cycle of generation after generation of weight problems. And so your kids might not be saying this out loud, but if they're having weight problems, they really want help. And what I've found, Brandon, is when a lot of times whenever you sit down with these kids and start to talk to them about it in a real lighthearted way, we don't ever make them feel bad about themselves. And I have a way of being real motivating with them. They really want help. They just don't know how to ask about it. They don't know why they're heavy or why they're struggling with this. Mm-hmm. This is such a huge problem in Louisiana. And so This is not something that you can solve yourself. So please don't ignore your children and grandchildren that are heavy. I have a program that we can do to help them with that. But as your personal weight loss coach, my program is really like nothing else that you've ever been exposed to. And the reason that my program is so successful, and this is what today is going to be all about, is that we begin with the underlying reasons that you're struggling with weight loss. Listen, 2/3 of Americans now have weight problems. 1/3 of Americans are overweight. Another 1/3 are obese. And I'd be willing to bet in Louisiana it's probably worse than that. Probably 70 or 75% of us in Louisiana have weight problems. So there are reasons, I promise you, there's reasons that these things are happening in your body, and it's not your fault. There are physical things happening inside you that's signaling your body to store fat. And so it doesn't have to be this hard. Weight loss it should not be as difficult as what people struggle with it. You know, you lose 5 and gain 10. You lose 10 and gain 20. There's reasons that's happening, and that's what today's show is going to be all about. So I have 4 secrets to weight loss today that we're going to go through. The 4th one is going to be food tips, because before we get to what you eat, we have to prepare your body for weight loss first, and that's why my program is so successful. Because before we even look at what you're eating, we actually try to fix what's going on inside your body first that's signaling fat storage. Every day that goes by, you have signals of your body telling you to store fat. And so we want to get to that first. Now, the first 20 weight loss challengers that join in for after 3 months, the one that loses the most is going to win $1,000 in natural health care from the office. And I do want to tell you this, though. It's still going to be 100% confidential and private. You don't have to go in front of anybody. Your name is going to be private. You don't have to be embarrassed. I will absolutely never make you feel uncomfortable, and no one else in my office will as well. You know, we have a motto at our office to listen to you with concern and treat you with compassion, and that's what we do with every single person that walks in. So, you know, don't continue to struggle with this because you're embarrassed to come in and ask for help. And so, you know, this is all private. We're going to track your goals and track your progress, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. And so if you don't want to participate in the contest, you can do that too. You know, if you just want to come in and help me and help, let me help you lose weight, we can do that. So today we're going to discuss the details of my weight loss program and why it's one of the most successful programs out there available anywhere. I do want to warn you, though, before we get started, that this program takes expertise. You can't try to sort of hear this show and figure this all out for yourself. This program is not simple. And so don't just try this at home without my supervision, because you're probably going to struggle with it. So here we go. Secret number 1. First of all, having a coach is critical to your success, period. End of debate, proven. It takes a coach to be successful at anything long term. You know, Serena Williams has a coach. Tiger Woods has a coach. Drew Brees has a coach. Michael Phelps has a coach. You know, these are some of the highest performing athletes in the world, and they still have coaches. So, you know, you think Michael Phelps and Drew Brees don't already know what to do before they actually enter their competition? But that's not the point. You know, sometimes patients come in and they'll go, "Doc, I know what to do to lose weight. I don't need you to coach me." And so, you know, I usually follow that up with, "Well, how's that working for you so far?" And so then they just kind of put their head down and go, "I get it. I'm in. You know, I'll have you coach me." But the highest performing athletes in the world have coaches. There are coaches there. The reason these athletes still need coaches is because your coach is there so that you're not alone in your decision making, period. Their coach is there to be someone outside of themselves to help guide you and support you. You know, as humans, we have a tendency to be a little dishonest with ourselves sometimes. Like sometimes we can't really see what we're doing for what it really is, or we can't see the realism of what is going on in our bubble. And so a coach is somebody outside of that can look in and say, "Hey man, listen, let's rethink this. Take a look at this from the outside." And so that we can change and encourage and support and bounce ideas off of. So again, you know, there's no judging, ridiculing, belittling, fussing, any of that. So successful people at anything have coaches, and I can be your personal weight loss coach through this. So that's secret number one is just have a coach. And I'll tell you something that'll prove my point with this right here. Even though I'm pretty much an expert at this, I have a coach. His name's Jace Lopez from Youngsville. He's great. And you know what? He has a coach. So having a coach is not something that, I just have to be told what to do. It's so that you're not alone, to have somebody to help you and to coach you and to look at goals and to have someone to bounce ideas off of. And so having someone there to share decisions is critical. You know, Michael Phelps, it's not that he doesn't know what to do before he hits the water, but he still walks over and has a little conversation, a little pep talk with his coach before he competes. And so as a nationally certified weight loss coach, the reason my program is so successful is that we work on the underlying problems in the body that's signaling your body to store fat, and you have to know what those are. So truly, this is not your fault. So you're listening to Get Well Acadiana. I'm Dr. Kevin, Senior Vice President of the Bryant Wellness Institutes, Louisiana's most advanced functional medicine institutes. And if you want to join me on this summer weight loss challenge, you can come in and sit down with me, and we'll take a look at what's preventing you from achieving success in the past, and we'll develop a comprehensive strategy to put you on the right track. And so if you want to join in, call my office at 837-7174. That's 837-7174. And you can leave your name on the voicemail and say, hey, I want to join in the summer weight loss challenge. And when my staff gets back to work on Monday, we'll call you and we'll share all the details with you. We'll explain how it works. And if you want to sign up, you can. So it's 837-7174. If you live closer to our New Iberia office and you want to take this program with Dr. Fontenot, their number over there is 367-2567, or you can always get both numbers on Facebook at the Bryant Wellness Institutes. And every Thursday I do a live show on Facebook that's a lot of fun called Dr. Kevin Live and Online. So make sure you go right now to our Facebook page at the Bryant Wellness Institutes and like it. So after the break, I'm going to give you the 3 other secrets that's preventing you from losing weight. So don't go away. And once again, that number is 837-7174. Welcome back to Get Well Acadiana with Dr. Kevin. I'm the Senior Vice President of the Bryant Wellness Institutes. We're Louisiana's most advanced functional medicine institutes. And before the break, we were discussing weight loss coaching and how valuable that is to you losing weight. And it's just critical. You know, I have a health coach. I coach others. My health coach has a health coach. And any successful athlete has a coach guiding them to where they need to be. Even some of these successful CEOs of companies have people that they bounce ideas off of. So, you know, having someone there who can help you, who can walk you through a program like this, any big change in your life, you need someone helping guide you through that. So the secret number 1 is to don't go it alone. Lean on experts that do this every day to help you. And having coached hundreds of people to their ideal goal weight, there's a great chance that we can find your pathway to achieving success as well. Now, my program is different than anything out there, and the reason it is because we work on the underlying reasons why people are retaining weight and what's inside the body that's causing you to be overweight. So there are reasons that your body is signaling fat storage every day. You know, the truth is, weight gain or being heavy or being overweight is just a symptom of an underlying problem. Just like having pain is a symptom of an underlying problem. You know, your pain is not what's wrong with you. It's a signal that something is. Well, being overweight or having your body gain so much weight is a symptom of an underlying problem. And until we get to those underlying problems, you're going to continue to struggle. Now, before we ever get into what you're actually eating, we must first get your body prepared to accept weight loss. But just having a program to where I say eat ABC, that's never going to get you to being successful where we want you to be. Now, the other thing, whenever patients hear weight loss, they instantly think, oh, lettuce and water. You do not have to eat like a rabbit to lose weight. My program, we eat real, solid, good food, high protein, medium healthy fats, low to medium carbohydrates, measured in a way and balanced out in a way to where you will get down to your ideal size. And so I'm going to give you 3 more secrets to permanent weight loss. But remember earlier I said that this program really takes expertise. And so you can't go this alone. And especially having a coach that knows what you're going through. You know, I was once 70 pounds heavier than I am right now. I have the fat gene. You know, I can walk by a plate of food and gain weight. So I get where you're at. I get what you're going through. But you can't wing this, guys. This is a real serious thing. And so this program is 100% drug-free, surgery-free weight loss with no prepackaged cardboard food. This is real food and real weight loss, but it's really designed for doctor supervision, and the results are better than anything out there this side of a lap band surgery, which, you know, by the way, speaking of lap band, I have sometimes patients that, you know, they'll have 100 pounds or so and they'll say, I think I'm just going to go get the lap band surgery. Those patients usually end up gaining their weight back over time as well. Many of them, I wouldn't say most, but many of them actually end up gaining their weight back because they still have never addressed the underlying reasons that they were gaining weight in the first place, which is what my program does. So let's get into this now. Weight loss does not have to be this hard. So there are several things that must be fixed first before we ever even look at your diet. So secret number 1 was have a coach. Well, secret number 1 was have me as your coach, actually. Secret number 2 is handling stress. Now, 9 out of 10 Americans you ask that, are you stressed? They're going to say yes. And the one person's just not telling you the truth. So really 10 out of 10 people out there are dealing with some kind of stress at some level. Even if it's just this go, go, go all the time lifestyle, that still puts our body into this stress response. Stress is directly related to weight gain. The more stressed you are, the more weight your body is going to want to gain. Now, why is that? Let me explain. So, what stress does to us is stress causes us to go into fight or flight response. So if you back up to our hunter-gatherer days, you know, stress was a very short temporary event, like a predator chasing us. Our body developed a defense mechanism called fight or flight. That means I'm going to turn around and fight this stressful situation, or I'm going to run for my life in this stressful situation. Now listen, this is a reflex. You cannot control this. And so sometimes people say, oh, I don't let that stress get to me. You can't control this. This is a reflex. So the problem with this is that your body responds physiologically exactly the same under stress, whether you're being chased by a predator, somebody's breaking into your house, or if you're just sitting in traffic late for an important appointment. The severity changes, but the physiology is exactly the same. So day to day, our adrenal glands are the glands that deal with stress, and they get burnt out. So when we go into fight or flight response, the body goes through several changes designed to get us out of this life-threatening situation. So whenever I go into stress, the number one thing that happens is my blood pressure goes up. So I'm in a stressful situation, I'm in a fight, or I'm going to run, I need a lot of blood pressure. I need high blood pressure in my body because I'm either going to be running for my life, so I need high blood pressure and heart rate, or I'm going to be fighting, so I need a lot of blood pressure for that as well. So stress leads to high blood pressure and heart problems. Now the second thing that my body does under stress is my body is going to instantly divert all the blood from my stomach, my small and large intestine, and it's going to move that blood from those organs into my arms and legs. So I can either run fast and I have blood in my legs, or I can fight so I have blood in my arms. So that shuts down my stomach, my intestines. I get digestive issues, colon issues, stomach issues, reflux, IBS, Crohn's, ulcers, all that. Now, the third thing that happens is my stress hormones stop working. So what happens is whenever you're under stress, you're not going to be, let's imagine if you're laying there about to go to bed tonight and you hear your front door glass break open. Right? So Brandon, you get your gun and you go downstairs and the cat just accidentally knocked a vase off the mantle like it wasn't your front door glass.
Yeah.
You're not going to go back to sleep right away.
Right.
You're going to be shaken, right? Your stress hormones are up.
Yeah.
So the same thing happens when you're in traffic. Our stress hormones shut down our sleep. And so what we find with these patients is they wake up in the middle of the night a lot of times. Like they might be fatigued all day, then they get a burst of energy right before bed, then they sleep for 3 hours, 3 o'clock in the morning they're wide awake. They're just all over the place.
Yeah.
That's their stress hormones being thrown off. Now, the fourth thing that happens, and this is what's related to your weight loss, is when we go into fight or flight, our body releases an anti-inflammatory hormone called cortisol. Now, that's great if I'm in a fight because it's an anti-inflammatory. So if I get injured, I already have cortisol in my body to go help that area. So our bodies are doing that for a reason. It's great very short term, but constant day after day cortisol production, it signals our body to store fat or to store weight. So, for instance, if you've ever known anybody the doctor put on cortisone for an extended period of time, what happens to their weight? It goes up. Your body makes its own cortisone under stress called cortisol. So if you're under stress, your body will constantly be signaling store all the time. So stress and weight loss cannot exist in the same body at the same time. It's just not possible. So research shows that over half of all health problems in America are caused by this stress problem. Think about it. Imagine all the blood pressure and heart problems and digestive issues and stomach and colon problems and sleep disturbances and weight problems that Americans have. I mean, this is like half the health problems that people are suffering with. So the diagnosis that we're discussing, the label for what we're talking about is called adrenal fatigue. Adrenal fatigue means that your stress glands have been cranked and cranked and cranked year after year after year till they're just burnt out, basically. And how do we know this? So some traditional American doctors may not even recognize that this is a problem. And if you ever hear that from a doctor, they're way behind the times. This is a huge problem. Most Americans, like I think 82 or 83% of the patients in our office that come in, we test for this, have this. So the vast majority of you listening right now have this adrenal fatigue. So the way we know this is happening is we do a very simple, non-invasive test for you called Raglan's test. So what we do is we do your blood pressure sitting, and then we take your blood pressure immediately upon standing. Your blood pressure should go up 5 points when you stand up. If it doesn't go up 5 points when you stand up, then you have adrenal fatigue. So it has to be done right though. Like it has to be immediately when you're standing. So you let us test you for this. But this test gives us a window into the health of these stress glands. So here's what happens. When I stand up, the blood is going to want to drain out of my head back into my body, and that's going to make me dizzy whenever I stand up. My adrenal glands ought to be sharp and fast enough to recognize this and to squirt out a tiny bit of adrenaline to raise my blood pressure 5 points so the blood stays in my head whenever I stand up. If my adrenal system is shot from being overstressed and go all the time like we discussed, my blood pressure will either stay the same or drop. So my adrenal glands were so weak they couldn't even deal with me standing up. If that happens, then you have this adrenal fatigue, and you probably will have blood pressure problems or soon will. You have digestive issues or soon will. You have sleep problems or will soon. And you probably are struggling with weight loss as well. And so this is caused from an overproduction of cortisol sending weight storage signals in my body. Now, I can't change the stress out there. I can't make the traffic better. I can't make the bills go away. But what I can do is I can rebuild your adrenal glands using a little supplement, goes right underneath your tongue, and it will solve this problem in a matter of weeks. So all you do, chew it up, it goes right under your tongue. I take it myself. It's very, very good for you. It's all natural. And what it's going to do is it's going to go in and rebuild your adrenal system so that you no longer have this cortisol signaling in your body. So the stress will still be there. You're just not going to have internalized physiological responses from it. And that's a really cool thing to have because you're going to start sleeping better. The blood pressure will regulate, the heart problems, the digestive, all of that will get better just by handling your stress glands. So you're listening to Get Well Acadiana with Dr. Kevin. I'm the Senior Vice President of the Bryant Wellness Institutes, Louisiana's most advanced functional medicine institute. So we're starting this summer weight loss challenge this week. We're going to take the first 20 people to call, And whoever loses the most weight in 3 months wins $1,000 in natural health care from the office. So it's going to be completely anonymous. You don't have to be in a group. I'm going to personally coach you through it. If you have 20 or 30 pounds to lose by the summer, let's get started now. And if you have more than 30 pounds to lose, that's okay too. It's all natural, no drugs or surgery. And I will be your personal weight loss coach to coach you through this. And I've lost 70 pounds myself, so I know what you're going through. I went from obese to a master's physique champion. So I can do the same thing for you. So call right now. It's 837-7174. Leave your name and number and tell them you want to register for our summer weight loss challenge. The number is 837-7174. That's 837-7174. Now, if you're closer to New Iberia and you want to take the program with Dr. Fontenot, it's 367-2567, or you can get all those numbers on our Facebook at the Bright Wellness Institutes. Come back and I have our other secrets. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Get Well Acadiana with Dr. Kevin. I'm the Senior Vice President of the Bright Wellness Institutes. We are Louisiana's most advanced functional medicine institutes, and we're discussing our weight loss challenge, and we're going to take the first 20 people that register for our summer weight loss challenge, and in 3 months, the person who loses the most weight is going to win $1,000 in natural health care from each one of our offices. So we're giving away $2,000 in natural health care, and you know, what we've been discussing so far is that there are reasons in your body, physical reasons why you can't lose weight, and that it's not your fault. So the first thing we discussed is you got to have somebody helping you, somebody there to coach you, somebody there to advise you. And the second thing is that stress and weight loss cannot exist in the same body at the same time due to overproduction of cortisol, which signals your body constantly to gain weight.
So I wanted to ask you, because you were mentioning earlier about stress and weight loss not coexisting. I wanted to mention I remember there was a time in my life a few years ago where I was really stressed for about a good month and a half, 2 months. And I remember during that time actually losing about a good 25, 30 pounds. Mm-hmm. What was happening in that case there? And I know I wasn't eating a lot. I can tell you that for one thing.
Yeah, probably whenever you get really, really stressed, like to the max, your body actually stops eating. Okay. So remember I said that it shuts down your digestive system?
Right.
So you're actually, at some point you become not hungry. But here's the problem with that. So, and this is actually the same thing with these people that do these starvation diets. It's the same thing. They don't eat. Well, you will lose weight if you drastically cut your calories. But the problem with those type of diets is it slows down your metabolism. You know, your metabolism, I always use this as an example, your metabolism is like building a campfire. If I start my kindling and I get a little fire going and I throw a huge log on top of it, it's going to go out.
Right.
So if I go for a long time without eating and then I eat, my body is going to want to store that all as fat.
Yes.
So it goes into this starvation mode. So once you did start eating again, like later after the stress went away, probably you gained weight plus some. So you gained that weight back plus some because it changed your metabolism.
Right.
And so with our program, and we're going to get to food in the next segment, but with our program, we actually eat 6 meals a day. Start within 30 minutes of waking up, and then every 2.5 hours you're awake, we eat. Because why? If I'm building a campfire and I put a little bit of wood and it starts and I add a little piece of wood here and a little piece of wood there, pretty soon I have this roaring fire, and your metabolism works exactly the same way. So we feed your metabolism a little bit at a time, day after day, and build it up and build it up and build it up. And pretty soon we have this roaring campfire, this roaring metabolism to where anything that you eat, you burn.
Yeah.
And once we get you into that mode, it's called fat burning mode, or we find your fat burning formula. Once we get you in that mode, every day you step on the scale, it's like down 0.5 pound, down 1 pound. It's really a great place to be in.
Well, I have someone here around the office that kind of gives me a little bit of a hard time in the sense of, he says, man, you're always eating. And a couple of years ago, that's something that I kind of changed in visiting with my doctor, where he said, eat smaller portions throughout the day and try not to eat any heavy meals. So I rarely eat heavy meals, but I've always got, little small portions that I'm eating throughout the day. And the guy messing with me, he's like, man, you're always eating. I said, yeah, but I said, if you notice, I'm not eating heavy portions. I'm eating little portions.
Yeah. One of the biggest problems I see with my weight loss clients, when I come in and I'll ask them, well, tell me what you do. And they say, when's the first time you eat? And they say, well, I don't have time for breakfast. I don't eat till lunch. And then by lunch, I get a plate lunch or something. Yeah. And I don't eat again until supper. And then I eat a big supper. And then I go to bed. I do it all over again. Well, that's what I used to do when I was 70 pounds heavier.
Yeah. And
I was actually talking to my weight loss coach whenever I first got into this. This has been 7-8 years ago when I first started looking at this. And I was talking to my weight loss coach, and he said, tell me what you do. And I said, well, I wake up, have a couple of cups of coffee. I'm at work. I'm treating patients. I'm busy. I'm in companies doing corporate wellness, and I don't eat until lunch. And then by lunch, I'm starving. So I eat a big lunch, and then I'm busy at work with the office and in the afternoons doing programs, and I don't eat again until supper. And then I go to bed and do it all over. And he goes, oh, there's another group of people that eat like that they eat 2 really big high-calorie meals a day. And I said, well, who's that? Sumo wrestlers.
Oh, man.
I was on the sumo wrestler diet. So that's what they do. So if you want to send your body the signal to store everything it possibly can, do that. Don't eat breakfast, eat a huge lunch, don't eat anything else, eat a huge dinner, and the weight will just come on big time.
So let me ask you this. As someone's listening right now and they may be in their 50s or 60s and they want to go through some weight loss and they've heard, well, hey, your metabolism slows down as you age. What do you say to them that are listening? Yeah,
and that is the case. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of what we fight with as a coach is we look at getting their metabolism. Remember I said campfire, we boost that metabolism. And we do that through food and through moving and through supplementation and several things to try to get that metabolism ramped up. But it is, as you age, it does get harder. And as you gain weight and your metabolism slows down, it gets harder. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I said the person with 100 pounds to lose who doesn't feel like doing anything has a whole different program than someone who, has 10 or 15, 20 pounds to lose to get in the bikini this year. Mm-hmm. And so that's why having a coach who can develop a program for you instead of downloading a program off the internet, anybody can do that, or joining Weight Watchers or getting Nutrisystems. That's a cookie cutter program that doesn't work for everybody. Mm-hmm. And so having a custom program with a coach who can sit down and see what your individual barriers are, your individual situation, and then come up with a custom program that is going to help you as an individual, not everybody on your block, but you as an individual. And so the third secret to my program, 1 was have a coach, 2 was handle your stress glands through rebuilding your adrenal system. The third secret to our program is the environmental chemicals that we discuss all the time on the show. And I'm not going to rehash that again on the show because I've gone over and over these environmental chemicals. I think I've discussed it every week on the show. And the reason that I have is because I truly feel, guys, that this is going to be the challenge in healthcare over the next 40 or 50 years, is how do we deal with the side effects of all the environmental chemicals that we're putting in our body every single year. There's 14 pounds of environmental chemicals, toxins, and poisons that we're taking into our body every single year, and these chemicals are making us sick. And I'm not going to rehash that. I know you guys have heard me say that already, but I want to catch it from a little different angle today and tell you how that relates to fat storage. And so your liver is the biggest filter of your body, and its job is to filter out all these chemicals and toxins that you're taking in. And so it filters them out so your blood is safe as possible, so your blood is as clean as possible. Now, the liver was not developed to deal with the load that it's exposed to today. I think I proved last week on the show that we're probably exposed to more chemicals from the time we leave our house every morning than our ancestors were in their whole lifetime. And so the liver simply cannot deal with the toxic overload that we're exposed to today. And so it must dump these toxins somewhere out in the body. So it has to change its filter. It has to get rid of some of these so that it can deal with the emergency situation that all of our livers are put in. So what the liver's decided to do, what the body has decided to do, is to build extra fat storage, to build extra belly fat as a protective measure to store these toxins in. So the bottom line is that your liver is going to send signals to your body to store belly fat, to store some of the some of the toxins in that your liver is exposed to that we've been going over and over again on the show. So the bottom line is this. The more toxic and fatty your liver, the more belly fat your body is going to want to store. So you see these people that are pretty normal everywhere else, but they just can't lose that belly, or they do a weight loss program and they lose weight everywhere but their stomach. That's what this is from. It's from liver toxin. So secret number 3 is you have to detoxify the liver, but you have to know what you're doing. You can't go to Walmart and buy a box of liver detox and expect that to work. This is a process, and you have to know what you're doing. So call and sign up for our summer weight loss program by calling 837-7174. That's 837-7174. Lose the most and win $1,000 in natural health care from each office. So the Lafayette office is 837-7174. The New Iberia office is 367-2567. And we'll sit down and customize a program just for you to break down these barriers. So stay tuned. I'm going to go to secret number 4, and we'll talk about what you actually eat whenever we return. So don't go away. Welcome back to Get Well Acadiana with Dr. Kevin. I'm the Senior Vice President of the Bright Wellness Institutes. We're Louisiana's most advanced functional medicine institutes, and I'm explaining to everyone today why weight loss is important and how my weight loss program is so different from every other program out there. And the reason it is we really get to the underlying reasons that your body is storing fat. It doesn't have to be this hard. Now, secret number 4 is what you actually eat, what you're putting in your body. And when it comes to food, we sit down and build a custom program that fits the activity level and needs of the person. So, for example, a desk worker doesn't have the same nutritional requirements as someone that frames houses or lays brick. If you're a 60-year-old retired lady, you have a different requirement than a 35-year-old mother of 3. So these cookie-cutter diet plans aren't a plan. It's just a simple program. And so we have an easy way to keep track of your nutritional intake, and we can map out your requirements and changes based on how your body is responding, because everyone's different. Some people respond to a higher fat, lower carbohydrate. Some folks do just the opposite, and they respond to a medium carb, low fat. But everyone's a little bit different. And so we keep tuning your nutrition until we get you in what we call your fat burning formula, or FBF. Once we figure out your individual FBF, then every time you step on the scale, it's going to be lower and lower. So we have you weigh every morning before you eat or drink anything. And once you reach we find your FBF, you're going to be down half a pound, quarter of a pound, half a pound, 1 pound. Every morning you step on the scale, the weight is going to be dramatically coming off. It's super exciting and motivating once you get into this fat burning mode. And what that means is that we've perfectly matched your formula of macronutrients and your activities to your metabolism and genetic structure. And once we get all of those pieces all put together and tuned in, once we do that, you're going to see the scale drop and drop and drop. And when we get you there, we don't change a thing. We let it run. And then what's going to happen is you're going to hit a plateau. And when you hit a plateau, we tinker with the formula and change it up to get to your next fat-burning formula. And then you're going to hit and make another run, and you'll start dropping and dropping again. Now, first of all, when it comes to food, we monitor your macronutrients, not calories. These calorie counting and point counting programs really are not effective in the long run. So these programs might work short term, but they're not a lifestyle change. Counting points and counting calories is not the way your body looks at food. I'll give you a perfect example of this, Brandon. So in one hand, I have a piece of chocolate cake here that's 500 calories. And in my other hand, I have a plate here that's 3 chicken breasts, and it's 500 calories. Now, if I'm a calorie counter, these 2 plates are equal. They're the same thing.
Right.
Now, they're not. My body is not going to do the same thing with this piece of chocolate cake that it does with these 3 chicken breasts.
Yeah.
And so these calorie counter and point counter programs go, oh, I can have that cookie. It's only 7 points or whatever. That's not the way your body processes food. And so measuring your macronutrients is way better. Measuring how many carbohydrates, proteins, and fats you eat every day That's where the secret lies to actually changing your metabolism. Ramping up that campfire is changing your macronutrients. It might be 150 proteins, 100 carbs, and 70 fats, or it might be 180 protein, 120 carbs, and 50 fats. I just don't know until we take a look at your individual situation. And we'll do all that without judging you, without fussing at you. It'll all be fun and exciting, and I'll coach you through it every step of the way. And listen, the person that loses the most weight wins $1,000 in natural health care from our office. And you don't have to be in front of a group. The program is going to be kept between you and me. It's all private. I'll personally coach you through the program step by step. The first thing that we're going to do is we will handle your adrenal glands. We'll handle your stress glands and manage that. The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to detoxify your liver, because as your liver develops toxins, which I can promise you it is, your body is going to signal store belly fat. And then the third thing that we're going to do is we will sit down and we'll develop a custom nutritional program for you that's based on what your individual body needs. Not just a calorie program, not dramatically cutting your calories, because when you dramatically cut your calories, your metabolism crashes. And then when you do eat something, your body's going to store it all back. And so we eat 6 little small meals a day, high protein, medium to high healthy fats, and medium to low carbohydrates depending on your physical requirements. And this program works. And then we do a weekly check-in to where we see your results and we make changes necessary. So you can call right now and you can join the program at 837-7174. That's 837-7174. And my office obviously is closed on Saturdays, but you can leave your name and number and say on the machine, I want to be part of the Summer Weight Loss Challenge at 837-7174. Now, if you're in New Iberia area and you want to do Dr. Fontenot's program, it's exactly the same. Their number over there is 367-2567, or you can join us on Facebook at the Bryant Wellness Institutes. And I want to invite you guys to catch my show on Facebook every Thursday at the Bryant Wellness Institutes, Thursday at noon, called Dr. Kevin Live and Online. And so thank you all so much for such an amazing response since I've started this show. Brandon, everybody's just been great to me. I mean, the staff here, Rob, everybody over here, the listeners, everybody's just been so great to me. I wanted to thank you guys for welcoming me to this channel. You know, I was on 99.9 with CJ and Debbie Ray for 6 years, and I'm just so glad to be over here, and everybody's been really great. So, you know, thank you guys.
How's it feel? You got your first month in the books, man.
That's it. That's the first month down.
Uh-huh.
And so, I want you guys to call and join. We don't point any fingers. We don't fuss at you. It's all about encouraging you. And so one of the things that I do not let happen is a negative self-talk. We start our day with positive self-talk. This whole waking up telling yourself, I'll never lose weight, I'm so fat, I just am meant to be this way. We don't do that, because that will hurt your results. And so thank you for having me. Thanks for listening today. So this is Get Well Acadiana. I'm Dr. Kevin. I'll see you next week.